Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson, and the Morning Report is a production of FightBackMedia.com. FightBackMedia.com, FightBackMedia.com. I trust that you are well. It is a gorgeous day here in West Central Florida, but, you know, like I say, most days are beautiful, and every day is a good day. Just some days it's raining. You know, every day is a good day. Feeling good, feeling good. I hope that you are feeling well today. A lot of interesting things going on, and we're going to sort of skim over the top of some of them. So you can take them into the rest of your week, and you can take them into your day, and you can share this with your friends and neighbors and your enemies. I used to be in a band with a guy who he said, you know what, if you like this song, grab somebody, you know, that you want to dance with and drag them to the floor. Or grab somebody you don't like and drag them to the floor so you can push them around in the dark. Thanks. That's another Paul. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate you. All right, we're going to get this party started in just a little bit. Listen, it is really, really important. It's becoming more and more apparent to me before we get started that mainstream media, and you guys know who I'm talking about, cannot be trusted. They are just not trustworthy. And it didn't used to be that way, or it didn't used to feel that way anyway. But now it's in the open. You know, CNN came out of the closet, so to speak, with the campaign and election of Barack Obama, when it was just as, you know, obvious as the nose on your face that there was bias there. That's all there was to it. There was extreme bias, and you know, and maybe it seemed like at the time, because of CNN has so much bias, that Fox News was on the other side, and that was the narrative being played. But the fact of the matter is that Fox News has been center left since that time, because the new kids were scared to death of offending what they thought was the blue wave, so to speak. So they were sort of trying to play both sides against the middle. You know, that's why we see Juan Williams on a Fox show, on a Fox opinion show. You see Juan Williams. You see some other people, and it should have given you reason to pause, but you didn't. You went on and you continued to watch them and support them, and Politico and all these, you know, these new websites you thought were sort of down the middle, and now you're finding out there's no such thing as down the middle. There's only, there's left and there's truth. I know that doesn't sound like that very fair, but you know, that's what it's turned into. You know, I asked a question on my Facebook page, now that people aren't watching CNN or MSNBC, because a lot of y'all are watching CNN. You know, some of you were watching CNN because it was habit. I'm just gonna say it was habit, and habit, you know, like cocaine's a powerful drug, and so is habit. You were watching CNN out of habit, and that's okay. You know, I'm not going to be ugly about that, because I understand the power of habit, and so does the networks, and so do the networks. I'm sorry. And at the same time, some of you were saying stuff like, we want to keep an eye on what they're doing. You can look out your damn window and keep an eye on what they're doing. If you're interested in keeping an eye on what they're doing, stay involved in your local politics. You don't have to watch CNN. You don't have to get indoctrinated with that crap. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so what I'm suggesting you do, my question was on my Facebook page, that if you are not watching MSNBC and CBS anymore, what are you watching? And a lot of people said Newsmax. Some people said OAN, I guess. OAN is what it is. Not many people said that. Some people think OAN has jumped the shark. I don't know if it has or not. Some people are watching Right Broadcasting Network, which is on YouTube, and they covered all of the Trump events, and you can subscribe to them, and that's cool. Some people said they're watching that. I had 78 comments on that post. So a lot of people are, OAN or Newsmax. Let me see if I can open this up. Some people say they never watched CNN and MSNBC. Oh, okay. Let's see. Some people say they're watching the Muppet movie again and again. Yeah, cool. That's fine. Fox Nation is good. Irene said she's watching Grass Grow. Some people are watching Hulu, podcast, X11. Telegram has a lot. Rumble, they're back on that. My friend Ken said Jimmy Buffett would call it the coconut telegraph, but I call it my Facebook friends. They're fast sharing stories as any news outlet. My friend Dan Tucker over in Pinellas County says he's watching Newsmax, the PGA, and Wicked Tuna. I said, Dan, you were watching the PGA and Wicked Tuna all along. Come on. Andy Griffith, Rumble, BitChute, Brighton, some YouTube. My friend Stanley, Gloucester, SpongeBob. Again, he's been watching SpongeBob all along. Some people are actually watching Fox. Some people have said that, they gave it all up. They're not watching any of it. But my question to you this morning before we go on our first break is this. What are you watching? Who are you listening to? Other than me right now, of course. Are you really ready to invest into some new media, some different takes, some different voices? Because that's what it's going to take. It was easy to say, well, I just listened to Rush. Well, praise the Lord, Rush has passed on. He is no longer suffering. He is in the bosom of Jesus. So, who are your sources? What are you listening to? Who will you support going forward? My name is Willie Lawson. This is The Morning Report. We'll be back right after these messages. Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet, and you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices, and you'd be right. They most certainly are. But you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those places is freedomforum.website. Freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Blooming Days Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com, and you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. All right, well, welcome back. Welcome back. We appreciate you greatly. Also, thank you ever so much. Again, my name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of FightBackMedia.com, FightBackMedia.com, FightBackMedia.com. Go to the website, check it out. All right, let's go ahead and get this party started, this glorious day. I think a lot of us had hope, but, and we didn't have any reason for that hope, but we had hope that at some point Dr. Fauci, Dr. Anthony Ouchie Fauci, Dr. I love the spotlight Fauci, would know that it's time to leave the stage. You know, it's like that athlete who just won't go anywhere. He's throwing up ducks. He's missing tackles. He's injured. He's only playing half the time. He's run wrong way touchdowns. You know, his career, he can't hit a free throw. He doesn't run the court anymore. You know, he's not making the cut. I'm trying to give you every sports analogy I can. He's not making the cut on the PGA Tour anymore. I mean, he's getting beaten by amateurs. He's getting knocked out by people who are tomato cans and, in boxing. He's getting knocked out in the first round, but he just won't go away. He just won't go away. He just won't decide on his own. It's time to go. This is what Dr. Anthony Fauci has been, especially during COVID-19 times. COVID-19 has made him a star. I'm a star. Baby, I'm a star. Okay. A little really bad Prince imitation. So Anthony Fauci has been a star and has enjoyed the spotlight. I mean, there's absolutely no way that you can't say that Anthony Fauci is not enjoying the spotlight. Look at him. Look at his demeanor. He's so comfortable there. He's so comfortable there because he likes it. But this weekend, Fauci finally admits what we all knew about COVID-19, vaccine, masks, and infections all along, because nothing works any differently. The thing that is, I think Fauci forgot that a lot of us didn't go to school in the 90s. A lot of us went to school in the 70s, where biology was not a political subject; it was a science subject. So we didn't all have to go, and this is what a lot of young people don't get. We didn't all have to go to medical school to understand basic medical and biological concepts, because crazy crazy. It was in the textbooks. Without political agenda, it was in the textbooks. And I know that is, and I think, you know what, and now that I've said that, I think that that's where the disconnect is. I really believe that's where the disconnect is with a lot of younger people and people who are my age. You know, well, you didn't go to medical school. I didn't have to. This is the stuff they used to teach in 8th grade. This is the stuff they used to teach in, let's see, I had life science in 9th grade, I'm sorry. This is stuff they used to teach in 9th grade in the 70s. So I didn't have to go to medical school to learn how vaccines work. I didn't have to go to medical school to know how viruses work. I didn't. I just had to get up and get on the damn school bus every day. That's it. That's all I had to do. And I didn't have any choice in that, so there I was. And all I had to do was pay attention in class, and I didn't have any much choice in that either. So most days, 99% of the days, I paid attention. I focused. I picked some stuff up. So this weekend, Dr. Anthony Fauci wasn't a grade A annoyance on COVID over the weekend. He took a position on something. Let's hope he doesn't flip-flop like he's done during this crisis. Granted, it's something we already knew about COVID vaccines, but better late than never. He gets negative zero credit, since the man has been a serial disaster regarding offering advice during the pandemic, from masks to keeping people scared of infection, even after vaccination. Fauci has been there. He's been so bad that even some liberals, like Nate Silver, have been calling him out, accusing the COVID czar of gaslighting us on the vaccine. So over the weekend, Fauci finally said what we've known about the vaccine all along, that they're super effective to the point that it's a dead end for the virus, which is what vaccines do. Even the rare case of infections post-vaccination, which are all asymptomatic. How do you get the virus? Somebody sneezes, coughs, whatever, and then you get it, right? So if I'm asymptomatic, if I'm not sneezing or coughing, right? I can't give you the virus. So there's no reason for me to wear a mask, because even then my virus load is so low. And that's something they stopped talking about. The virus load is so low. So I have really no risk of spreading the virus to you. Fauci is the chief medical advisor to President Biden, and he was the chief medical advisor to President Trump too, by the way. So all of you anti-Trumpers and, Biden lovers, same dude, said during a discussion on Sunday about the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's decision to drop the mask recommendations for fully vaccinated individuals that vaccinated people become dead ends for COVID-19. Appearing on CBS's Face the Nation, or as Mark Levin says, Deface the Nation, Fauci explained to host John Dickerson that fully vaccinated people can go without masks even if they have an asymptomatic case of COVID-19, because the level of virus is much lower in their nasopharynx, which is the top part of their throat that lies behind the nose, that it is in someone from someone who is not vaccinated. So even if there are breakthrough infections with vaccinated people, almost always the people are asymptomatic. And the level of virus is so low, it makes it extremely unlikely, not impossible, but very, very low likelihood that they're going to transmit it, Fauci said. Fauci added that vaccinated people essentially become dead ends for the virus to spread within their communities. Great news, Doc. But you also said that New York was the state that did it right. No, they didn't do it right. Governor Andrew Cuomo let the virus burn through nursing homes thanks to his executive orders forcing the facilities to admit COVID positive patients. It killed thousands. It was so bad that Cuomo and his people intentionally undercounted the true death toll in these locations by half. this attachment to the messaging strategy that's a mixture of scare the crap out of us and you can't handle the truth has led to disastrous results. For starters, institutionally, there's no reason to listen to these clowns again. See, and this is the deal, folks. And I mentioned this on a TikTok live I did yesterday. These institutions, CDC, National Institute of Health, they have shot their wad in the sense of credibility. We know now that they're not credible. And we always thought that our doctors would be credible, right? Many of us don't, when we're looking for a doctor, we got the paper out from our insurance company and we're looking for a primary care physician. We don't look their voting record up. We don't see if they're a leftist. We take recommendations from our friends. Oh yeah, this is good. You know what? I had the crup last week and this guy helped me out, blah, 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 whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even think about, a lot of us, maybe some of y'all, maybe some of the leftists do, but we don't. I don't. I don't care what my doctor's, political, views are. I really don't. As long as he's a good doctor to me, that's all I care about, really. As long as he's a good doctor to me. For instance, my doctor believes that I need to get the vaccine. He really does. With my health thing, with the surgery, the heart, and he's been, and my high blood pressure and my obesity and blah, 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 on and on and on. He really believes that I should. But after telling him that I got COVID, or I really believe I did, he still thinks I should. But he says, no one's going to make me. And it is, I got some time. So he was reasonable. So I'm cool with that. I am guessing, if I had to guess, that my doctor is not a Republican. But I don't care. Other people would care. I don't care. But these organizations they got political. They drummed up panic. And an entire generation should ignore everything and anything they say after this COVID fiasco is over. I was told that Florida and Texas would be COVID graveyards. We were told that, that they would. COVID people would just be dying in the streets. Be load them up like cordwood. Didn't happen. That was wrong. So maybe this thing called herd immunity is taking effect. Yeah, maybe it has. All right, there's a lot of talk about Trump 2024. A lot of Trump talk, DeSantis, Trump DeSantis 2024. Folks, there's a whole set of elections coming up in 2022. Every House seat is on the slab. Every single one. I see posts on Facebook and Twitter and other places. Who says it's time? Who else will say it's time to get rid of Nancy Pelosi? Well, something else. I learned a little biology. In junior high school, I learned a little bit of civics in junior high school too. And I figured out. And I remembered that. Guess what? I can't do a friggin' thing about Nancy Pelosi being in Congress. I can't do anything about her being in Congress. Why? Because I don't live in her district. And I'm not moving to her district to run against her. So if I'm not going to do that, then I can't do a thing about it. The only thing I can do is find a candidate, support a candidate, create a candidate in my district that supports my views on how things ought to be. Well, not even my views, but the Constitution's ways, thoughts on how things ought to be. And that's all I can do. And it's the best thing that I not get distracted with other things. And Republicans, and conservatives have some serious choices. We got every House seat out there in 2022, and we've got some Senate seats too. And the Senate, strangely enough, bizarrely enough, has been the finger in the dike as of late. The only thing holding back right now a full, blown out, progressive, socialist agenda right this very minute, the finger in the dike is the Senate, with Mitch McConnell at the helm. Holy Jesus. Yeah, so it's easy not to feel that confident. So we're going to have to start concentrating on some things that maybe you didn't want to concentrate on. We'll have to start making some decisions, some hard decisions that maybe you didn't want to do. And this is one of them. I've said here before, I mean, this is full disclosure, I like Marco Rubio. I do. I've not always agreed with every jot and tittle from Marco Rubio because I'm a grown man. I mean, Marco Rubio is not my hero. Marco Rubio is not, not my Lord and Savior, so I don't have to agree on every jot and tittle. I can have my own thoughts and opinions and views. I still can. Even if I vote for Marco Rubio and I don't agree with everything he's done or everything he said. But right now, the Democrats are firing the big guns, the biggest guns they've got, in an intelligent way. Florida Representative Val Demings used to be a police chief in Central Florida. And a lot of people wanted Val Demings to be Joe Biden's vice president. A lot of people around here wanted Val Demings to be Joe Biden's vice president. And frankly, Val Demings is a much better choice than the crackhead he's got now. Just saying. I know it's a terrible thing to say, and I don't apologize, but yeah, much better choice. I still think that Val Demings would have been a much better choice. So, of course, the Florida Democrats wanted her to run for governor because at some point, especially during last summer, when the unemployment system in Florida was a friggin' nightmare, and I know from personal experience because I tried to use it, it was horrible. It seemed like that Ron DeSantis was vulnerable. So a lot of people wanted Val Demings to run for governor. Well, right now, Ron DeSantis is a freaking rock star. Rock star. Be tough to beat Ron DeSantis right now. If Ron DeSantis decides to run for governor again and not run for president or not be on a presidential ticket, this dude is freaking almost bulletproof at this point. So rather her running for governor, I think she's doing the smart thing by running for senator. She says that she's going to run against two-time Senator Marco Rubio. The advisor said that Demings, who has grown increasingly critical of the GOP, Ron DeSantis, ultimately became more frustrated with Senate Republicans under Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and their, quote, obstruction. Again, they've been the finger in the dike. Here's what she says. If I had to point to one thing, I think it's the COVID bill and the way Republicans voted against it for no good reason, the advisor said. That really helped push her over the edge. She also has this huge fight with Ohio Republican Representative Jim Jordan and brought that into focus. This fight is in Washington, and it is the fight for her to continue. The advisor left some wiggle room for Demings to change course, saying that there was a 98.6% chance that she would ultimately challenge Rubio for Senate. Demings leaves the gubernatorial field to Charlie Crist and Agricultural Commissioner Nikki Fried, who's expected to announce her bid soon. Demings' plan could put her on a crash course with other Orlando area Democrats, Representative Stephanie Murphy, former Representative Alan Grayson, who is insane, by the way, and former prosecutor Aramis Ayala, and a dude named Alan Ellison. It's interesting that they're all running against Rubio, but first they have to run against each other. First they have to run against each other. So it's going to be interesting. Now, why is this important for at this point to start talking to Republicans and conservatives about this? I was having a conversation with someone yesterday about this and about Marco Rubio. And Marco Rubio is still attached to the Gang of Eight. You remember the Gang of Eight? The Dreamers. Let's be honest about it. Now, you could not like Marco Rubio, and you could say, I'm never going to support Marco Rubio ever, 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 ever. Okay. And that's what you have a right to do, but let's be intellectually honest. If Republicans would have taken the lead on this dreamer, for lack of better words, situation back then in 2011 or 2013, we would be way ahead of the game now. We would be way ahead of the game because we have taken charge of the discussion, taken charge of the legislation. We would have gotten our way by now, especially in the age of Trump. We would have gotten our way by now. But we didn't. So now instead of dealing with the 800,000 or would have been less people that we would have been dealing with President Obama, now we're dealing with 21 million people. Much worse. We didn't do the right thing. We didn't do the smart thing anyway. While that background made her an ideal Democrat voice on police reform and race issues, an earlier political report found widespread dissatisfaction with her responses about the incidents of brutality during her tenure. Now, again, she was also a police chief. And she had said some things about how police have to react, especially in the recent case where the police officer had to shoot the kid who was about to stab the other kid. Final decisions by Deming could come as early as June. So we're going to watch that here at Fight Back Media. And we're going to try to give you as much information as we can to make sure that we can all make the smart decision here on what we're going to do. All right, we're going to take one more break, and we'll be back with more of the program right after these messages. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com. And you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com.
A conservative who seeks truth over the conventional statist wisdom, coming to you from the southern headquarters of FightBackMedia.com, your host, Willie Lawson.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you. Paul is the the heart and soul behind the SwansonReport.net, the SwansonReport.net, the SwansonReport.net. You can check that out if you go to the fightbackmedia.com website. Just go to the tab that says more. The second thing is the SwansonReport.net, the SwansonReport.net. You can check that out. There's not better commentary. There's not better thought on what's going on in our world than the SwansonReport.net. So check that out for sure. All right. It's, you guys know that my second job is at a theme park, and people were asking me, so when are we last year, when are the theme parks going to reopen? And I said this, I said, until Disney decides to make a decision, everybody else is going to wait. And sure enough, that was the case. Disney decided to say, oh, okay, we're going to go back. And then everybody else jumped on the bandwagon. All of them opening before Disney actually got their act together enough to open. Now, a lot of it is because their park is so much, especially Disney World, is so much bigger than and more involved than everybody else's. That's why it's more expensive for their guests. And people kept asking me, so when are the masks in parks going to go away? And I told them, when Disney says they go away, they'll go away, and not before. So Disney made a decision here last week, and everybody else on the same day, last Friday in the afternoon. So everybody else followed suit. Blah, 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 blah. The park I work for let its employees know, let us know, on Saturday morning. I had texted one of my supervisors and asking about it, and they said they didn't know yet because it hadn't been officially announced. So they didn't officially announce it until Saturday, early Saturday morning where I work. And we were removing all the you got to wear a mask signage that had been up for a year, and the social distancing signage that has been down for a year. So started removing all of that stuff right before open on Saturday. So freedom is contagious. Now, a lot of people, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of people wore their masks to the park. My guess is that a lot of people didn't know they had to. I mean, that they had a choice. And where I was working, I didn't tell people, oh, take that off. You don't need that. If people wanted to, because I still had mine on. So because people wanted to wear their mask, they could, and I didn't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. So if they wanted to wear their mask, and it is consistent with my view on this all along, if you want to wear a mask, you want to wear 2 masks, 5 masks in the box they came in, a hazmat suit, and cover yourself up in saran wrap. You can do that if you want to. Oh, and wear some gloves. You can do that. If you want to, drive around in a mask in your car by yourself, you can do that if you want to. I'm going to laugh at you. I'm just going to. The rest of us are going to laugh like heck at you. We are. But if that's what you need to do to feel safe, that's fine. If you need an IV dripping vaccine in your body 24/7, if that's what you think you need, then do that. Do that. Do you, boo? I don't care. I don't think people understand how little I care about what you do. Just don't get in my way. Don't make me pay for it. Let me do me. And we're finding out that freedom is contagious. To give you an idea, now, I have not been the person who has decided that because of whatever reason, I was going to go into XYZ and challenge the mask mandate. I don't think I challenged it one time. I think I went to a 7-Eleven and I'd forgotten my mask, and I just decided that I wanted some Topo Chico. And the lure of Topo Chico was so great. The craving was it was just so intense that I ventured into this 7-Eleven at 9:00 in the evening, maskless, and got absolutely no pushback from the from the guy working there at all, or anybody else. I think there was like two other customers in the store, and the guy working behind the counter. Nobody. I mean, I didn't see any dirty looks from the customers. I got nothing from the guy working behind the counter. So I got 4 or 5 bottles, delicious bottles of Topo Chico. Went to the counter, paid for it, got back in my car and came home. So I've not been the guy, deciding I'm not wearing that. You can't make. I'm not. Other people are doing that, and that's fine. There are people who are on my Facebook pages who are organizing trips with their friends to the maskless trip to the mall with their friends to protest the mask mandates. Cool. Do you, boo? But freedom is contagious. We learned that Walmart and Sam's Club, same company, announced that fully vaccinated associates will not need to wear a mask at work starting Tuesday, May 18th. That's today. And vaccinated customers and members are welcome to shop without a mask. And we will continue to request that non-vaccinated customers and members wear face coverings in our stores and clubs. Well, here's the deal. Here in Florida, you can't ask. Actually, everywhere you can't ask. They can't ask because of HIPAA laws, which are health privacy laws. They can't ask. So they can ask you, if you're not vaccinated, wear a mask. And you could say, okay, I won't wear a mask, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. You can't ask me. You can't ask me. And you can't make me. So go to the store, go to Walmart and Sam's Club if you want to, shop. You pay for your membership, do your thing. Trader Joe's said they encourage customers to follow the guide of health officials, including as appropriate CDC guidelines, and advise customers who are fully vaccinated are not required to wear a mask while shopping. But again, same deal. Target, same deal. CVS, same deal. So I'm probably heading to CVS today. BJ's, another, another one of those shopping clubs. Why? Because Sam's Club went, and so did BJ's, and so did Costco. Why? Because once the major one in the industry goes, everybody's going to go too. Starbucks invoked the CDC's latest guideline that fully vaccinated people can resume indoor activities without wearing a mask, except what required by local regulations or law. Well, in Florida, I don't know if I'm going to Starbucks anyway, because Starbucks gets on my damn nerves. How about that? Publix, no longer requiring fully vaccinated associates. So if their employees aren't going to wear a mask, then I'm not going to either. There you go. And they can't ask me. For those of you poor slops who are living in cities or states where authorities have not lifted mask mandates for fully vaccinated people, shoppers even at these stores will have to endure mass shopping a while longer. We're going to continue with this list because this list is growing. Freedom is contagious. Smells like choice. Tastes like freedom. My name is Willie Lawson, and this has been The Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of FightBackMedia.com, FightBackMedia.com, FightBackMedia.com. We will, again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.